The Cleveland and the Cubs World Series is tied at 1-1, and NBA tip-off week is finally here. All this and more up next on Sports Weekly.
You are tuned into Black Hollywood Live, Sports Weekly.
Just trying to figure out
The trap version of Thriller.
what's this.
What? Go Thriller. Go
Okay, can I guess who picked this song?
Who picked this song?
Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you guess?
I don't know.
It's Halloween. I mean, you gotta play something.
Halloween just happens to be Charlie's favorite holiday.
I love it.
Does Halloween even really qualify as a holiday, though?
It does, though. I mean, you dress up, you get to be somebody else for a night. It's perfect.
I want to know everyone's Halloween costumes after the show.
We're going to talk about our Halloween costumes in a second, but thanks guys for tuning in to Sports Weekly every Thursday night at 7 on BHL. I'm Erica Renee Davis. You can find me on Snapchat. Not really so much Snapchat anymore either.
No.
You can find me on Instagram, Insta Story, and Twitter at Erica Renee D.
Hey guys, this is Charlie Myers. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Charlie L. Myers.
What's up, guys? It's Joshua Johnson here. Find me on social media at JJ the Talented.
And I'm Raina LA. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Raina_LA.
And as always, you can follow all things Black Hollywood Live on BlackHollywoodLive.com. You can follow us on Twitter at BHL Online, and you can follow us on Instagram at The Sports Weekly. We have a lot to talk about today. I feel like when NBA season starts, that just throws a wrench in everything because we have NBA. Yeah, right? I like the sound effect. Baseball,
It's
college
the best
football.
time of the year.
Anyway, but we do
We've been
have
waiting
we
for
have
it.
we have a ton. No, listen. I love NBA too, but Raina, you go ahead and start us off because we got a little bit NBA tip-off week controversy to start with.
Yes. Well, actually, before I start with the controversy, I want to give a shout out to the LA Sparks for bringing home the championship.
Go Sparks!
Go Sparks.
Shout out to
Get
Chelsea
naked.
Gray, who was a guest on our show. And I just wanted to say the Lakers and the Sparks,
Starting
thank
off
you for
right.
bringing a championship here. The
Another
Clippers,
basketball championship
Yeah, thank
in
you.
LA. Yeah.
For-
How many of the Sparks won now?
This is their
Third?
second or I know their last one was 2005
3, 4. I think it's the third.
or around that with Lisa Leslie and everything.
Congrats,
but thank you,
Sparks.
Thank you, Sparks. Thank you, Lakers.
I saw you partying with them.
You see how they do.
I was sorry.
I don't know if the Sparks championship though qualifies, because I mean, who was there to even see it?
Wait,
It was
are you saying if the Sparks win a championship
We're already starting.
Who was
and
there
no
to
one was
see
there
it?
to see
That's what I was like.
It was
Does it
first
still
time. Yeah, the
count?
last game was in Minnesota, so yes, none of us were there.
Hey, I don't care if it's Minnesota, Atlanta, LA. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to see it, did it happen? Did it happen?
It was actually a really close game.
I say you chop up Bill
The
Wall
last
on the
minute was
border.
really the last minute of the game was
I do
crazy.
have to say this. I feel really bad for the WNBA because they get no publicity whatsoever.
I think that's like a
literally-
commercial or two.
I don't even think that there was a baseball game going on and they got no publicity.
ESPN
nothing.
did cover the playoff games, actually.
They did?
Yes,
I didn't
they
hear
did.
about it. Where
They
was
covered it.
Where?
Anyway,
I was with
shout
you.
out to the Los Angeles Sparks for bringing home
Yeah,
the
but it's LA
championship.
though.
LA Sparks, LA Lakers, and that's it for LA.
She answers so much.
Let's bring it down a little bit. So singer 7th Street, have you guys heard of her?
Yeah, she has that good song with
Chris
Chris
Brown.
Brown.
Yes.
Yes.
Brown. And she
Great.
wrote for, I think, Chris Brown, another song, and who else? I
Yes.
think Beyonce?
Did she? She's a cute girl too.
She's really
Yeah.
pretty, has an amazing voice. Anyway, she was singing the national anthem for the Sixers Thunder game, and she wasn't allowed to go on the court because she was wearing a jersey that says in the picture, "We Matter."
We Matter.
So she went on to social media, posted a video saying, I was really excited to sing the national anthem tonight, but I wasn't allowed to take the court. So Sixers, their organization didn't make a statement. So
They did, though.
They did, though.
They
They
did.
did when?
Yeah, they definitely
Today,
did.
today they did,
Yeah,
but not the night of the game.
No, so they came out with a statement today that said, maybe someone can pull it up to tell us verbatim, but basically it said that they wanted to move the conversation about race. They didn't use the word race relations, but they wanted to use the conversation about race relations in a positive way to propel it forward with actions that really mattered. They basically low-key said that Seven's wearing the jersey wasn't action enough, and that they were going to use their NBA platform
Yeah.
But
to
what
move
does it
it
have
forward.
to do with race? I mean, she could be talking about vegans matter for all I
Right.
can tell.
I'm not condoning whatever the 76ers did, but they did have her sign a contract, and it did say that she couldn't wear something
No
on.
political.
Do you
Yeah.
sign a contract before singing the national anthem?
Well, they had, I don't know if people typically do that in NBA or NFL, but she did sign a contract that
Yes.
said she would not make any political speech. But here's the thing,
She didn't
like
say
we
anything.
matter, like she didn't say anything, and is we matter political or is it social? And if it's social, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like it's political now because of the election. If
Okay.
it wasn't the election, then it wouldn't have mattered so much, in my opinion.
I don't know. I'm really disappointed with the NBA because we talked
The
about
NBA
it.
or with the Sixers?
I'm
Because
disappointed with the
the
NBA.
NBA hasn't had a statement on
Well,
this, but the Sixers have.
Adam Silver has been playing the middle of the road man when it comes to the Black Lives Matter / Colin Kaepernick protest. He has made it very clear that the NBA's policy is that everyone has to stand for the anthem, and that was something that was in place way before
That
his
was already
time.
there.
Yeah, but it's almost as if the NBA wants to package this. They want to act like they're going to help this conversation move forward by doing something that's more sophisticated than what Colin
Which
Kaepernick
would
is
be
doing.
what? Do they have
Which would be what?
solutions?
Well, I
Yeah.
actually,
Alternatives? She's not, like we said with Kaepernick, she's not being violent. She's
Yep.
not,
It's
you know,
a
going out
peaceful
and
protest.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
peaceful. If anything, they should have handed these shirts out at the door to the 76ers fans.
Thank you.
Because 76ers still matter, apparently, because they've been losing ever since
Clearly.
whenever. So we're still here as a 76ers team.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
so did you?
Shame on the city of
Yeah.
Philadelphia, though. City of brotherly love.
Right.
Isn't that what that city's all about?
I mean, not only for that, like even during the game, they're just terrible fans. You
They
see
are.
him
Yeah, the
flip off
guy
Russ.
shooting the bird at Russell. Did you see it?
No.
That was funny as
Oh, it's
hell.
hilarious.
And they talked about that on,
the
the
number,
double-
you're the number one player.
like he was basically sitting courtside and a crazy super fan, 76ers fan, basically got in Russell Westbrook's face with the double guns, and they escorted him out for being unruly. But they were speaking about it on Sports Talk this morning about how ironic that it is that you can have that kind of person acting that kind of way
Exactly.
at a public event, but yet you can't wear a jersey that says "We Matter" and be peaceful and sing the national anthem, which, as we talked about when we talked to your dad, was not written with slaves and black people in mind. So she can't sing the national. This black woman in America in 2016 cannot wear a "We Matter" jersey to sing a national anthem that excluded black people from its principles. Okay, 76ers, y'all lost on this one.
Yes.
Oh, well,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, they got like 3 L's in that.
4 hours.
In that one night, 4 L's in a night.
They did, yeah.
They're losing.
So coming back to that topic, still, like, did you expect certain players or coaches to do something opening night? I know they couldn't kneel, but anything like, you know, maybe their fists
fist or
up,
something.
did you expect any of them?
I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. Money speaks, and if money's going to diminish it by them sitting down or kneeling, they're not going to do it.
Well, I mean, I kind of expected it that somebody would do something, maybe, or some
they're gonna get
some
fined,
teammates
though?
would do something, because it doesn't have to be
For
kneeling or
certain,
anything, but
yeah.
just some kind of gesture about the whole national anthem, like during the national anthem, some kind of gesture, because it is primarily the league is, you know, the majority is black men.
Yeah.
Whites are the minority in the league, and so I figured that at least someone would make some kind of gesture, but it
Yeah,
didn't.
nothing happened.
Michael Smith on His and Hers this morning, you guys probably saw it, made a fantastic point, and many people have echoed this sentiment, but he said that if all lives matter, we wouldn't have to say that Black lives matter. If all lives really didn't matter, we wouldn't have to say that we matter. And I think about, right now is October, it's breast cancer awareness, and you see all the football players with the pink accessories, and you see all the cheerleaders with the pink palms. What if I said, I'm a cheerleader, I was an NFL cheerleader, what if I said, I want my palms to have purple in it for March of Dimes, I want my palms to have black in it for this, I want my palms to have red in it for AIDS awareness, I want my palms to have blue and white in it for ALS awareness. Oh yeah, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I want my palms to reflect every other issue too, and just totally ignore the fact that breast cancer matters too. And people who say all lives matter, that's what you sound like. You sound ignorant, and you sound like you have a very myopic view of other people's struggles. And I know that's my personal perspective, but just if you can relate to having lost someone to one of those diseases and know how important it is that that disease gets its month of awareness, then you need to be able to relate how black people feel being overlooked and being murdered unfairly every single day of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not defending them by any means. I'm 100% on your side.
Charles, like, I'm going to agree with you because you might slap me.
No. Because I live in two worlds. I go to LA and I go to Orange County, and they're bipolar opposite. I don't think that they are doing it intentionally. They're not doing it to hurt anybody's feelings intentionally. They do it because they're not educated. They do it because they think, hey, because I'm saying all lives matter, I'm not offending anyone, which it clearly is, because it's, again, you're not realizing what you're saying and what you're defending. So
it's never affected them either.
yeah, it's never affected them. Exactly.
They don't feel the effects of it. Their brothers, sisters, loved ones, it's not happening to them.
It's
so,
not.
you know, when you don't feel it, you kind of just, you're apathetic, you don't really care as much, and you'd rather just not hear about it. You cast it off aside because, you know, if you don't see it, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist.
And I know the NBA wants to present itself as like this super button up, like progressive, you know.
All the sports leagues, though, they want to shy away from the issue.
It's lately. I don't know what it is, but all sports are like, oh, you can't do that.
You can't do
Because
that.
they don't want
yeah.
to disrupt their fan base, which is going to disrupt their dollars. And that's what it comes down to.
Well, and here's the thing, like change no matter what you're going through in your life is always going to be uncomfortable. And
Always.
it's going to always put you in a precarious situation that makes you uncomfortable because change means growth.
Right.
And there's so many documentaries, past and present. Most recently, Ava DuVernay's 13 on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a fantastic chronicling of slaves to the 13th Amendment, to how blacks became the most highly populated people in prison. And then even Birth of a Nation, like to watch these documentaries and movies, it's so uncomfortable, it's so hard to watch. And Josh, you and I both have older parents. Like I'm one generation removed from segregation. My parents went to
white,
schools
black, water fountains,
that were
sit-ins,
segregated.
all of that stuff.
And it's uncomfortable to talk about it. Jim Crow is uncomfortable to talk about. It's uncomfortable to talk about slaves. It's uncomfortable to talk about, you know, people getting hanged. It's uncomfortable to see my, you know, ancestors get hosed down in the streets, you know, fighting for a right to vote. But that shit happened. So don't tell me I can't wear a We Matter jersey when our country was built on these racial injustices that it wasn't our fault.
Right.
Like, we didn't ask to come over here.
Yep.
I think it was interesting for the NBA. Carmelo Anthony, he made a statement about this, how they, you know, they're not kneeling or anything. He said, you know, I'm past gestures. It's all about creating things now and putting things in motion. And so that was his statement regarding that. And the NBA has actually made some moves.
Okay,
That actually,
okay.
I'm gonna read some. The Bulls head a basketball tournament and panel between law enforcement and mentoring agency. DeMarcus Cousins hosted an event in his hometown of Mobile, Alabama, featuring police and community leaders. And Dwayne Wade had a 6-mile unity bike ride through Miami with police officers. So I think these are positive steps forward that the NBA is making, and I applaud them for that, because I haven't heard of anything with the NFL besides the players stepping up.
Well,
and
the 49ers
this.
organization actually donated, I think, $1 million to, I don't know if the NFL as a whole, but the 49ers organization personally, privately donated.
But other teams too, like I feel like 49ers did it because of Kaepernick. You know, he's the main
course.
person. Have you heard of any other teams maybe
I
making?
I personally think this should be required. This is just my opinion. If you are getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport, regardless of how good you're doing, you should be required to go out once a year.
You are,
do something.
though. You are. Even as an NFL cheerleader, like, we were required to do a certain amount of community.
Oh, yeah, that's,
it's required. But, like, I
take back my statement.
But no, to piggyback on what you're saying, though, because the racial tensions in America right now are at an all-time high, I think, at least in our lifetime, I think a part of that requirement should have something to do with non-black players partnering and non-black owners and non-black GMs partnering with law enforcement agencies and other agencies that bring awearness to
I hate to say it. It's just it would mean more for them right now, because we're seeing all these players step up, but none of them are from another race.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to all be NBA or NFL. It could be hockey players, you know. It could be baseball players.
You were a Clippers. You are a Clippers fan.
I'm a Clipper fan.
Remember the Donald Sterling thing? Didn't the Clippers do some kind of
statement?
What was that?
Before they did their protest, like LeBron was threatening to boycott. He wasn't gonna do it, but anyway, what eventually ended up happening is that the Clippers wore their jerseys inside out during the national anthem, and then I think they wore black T-shirts for another national anthem.
That poor year.
Why not now, though?
Yeah.
Why not now? When they did it for Donald Sterling, did they face some kind of backlash from that? I know they did,
I don't know why they didn't. Well, we don't know because they haven't played yet. We tip off in about 6 minutes. Clipper Nation.
Good luck. They play Portland.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen.
Talk about them later.
Listen, for the Lakers fans are so crunk about winning this first game. They haven't won a game in so long. They're so crunk. They don't know what to do with themselves.
All I
We
can say,
don't. We're excited. It's a new era.
we are the best record, 1-0.
That's right. Okay.
New era right now. Thank you. Try to give me
Champions.
something.
Raina, you got some more 7th Streeter stuff before we talk
No,
about
that's everything.
baseball?
It was just one of the highlights. I had to change my topic last minute because the game came in later, and
I'll put
I
your
don't know.
other one in there, too.
I was just kind of surprised that happened. I mean, especially with
Yeah.
New Jersey, but
Philly
it's
took
unfortunate.
another L, like Charlie said.
Man, Philly.
They just keep losing.
Do we got 6 now?
Yeah, they're
Number 1 draft pick
Really
again
gotta
next lottery.
Right.
Well, hell is officially frozen over.
did. It's
this is tough.
Yeah, the Cubs and the Cleveland Indians are in the World Series. The Cubs are playing in the World Series since 1942, and the last time they won was 1908, and the last time the Indians won the World Series was 1948. So like I said, hell is frozen over. These teams are playing each other. I personally am excited. It's been a back-and-forth series. Cleveland won the first game, and then the Cubs dominated.
Very convincingly.
Game 2.
Charlie, why does that even matter? The fact that they haven't been there in so long. Aren't there some teams who have never made it to a World Series?
For I think there's only one other team that hasn't made it, but it's a big deal because these teams are. I believe in curses, and these teams are cursed, both of them, and one of these curses is going to be broken this year.
But is the Cleveland drought considered a curse? I know the Cubs and the Billy Goat, and then the 2008 reaching over the Ivy.
Yeah,
Those are definitely curses.
The Bartman curse. I had a discussion about that with one of my good friends. That's a Chicago fan, but yeah, I mean, not in the same limelight as the Cubs are. As far as the Cleveland Indians are concerned, it's just the drought throughout the whole entire sports system. But it's not as significant as the Goat curse or the Bartman curse. But like I said, it's been a entertaining World Series to say the least. Have you guys caught in any games?
Oh my God! Yeah, I've watched
Are
all
the
of
Dodgers
both
still
games.
playing?
No.
Last time I checked, the Dodgers
They choked.
That's why I haven't watched any games.
They had this guy called Clayton Kershaw that
That's why I
has
haven't
an
watched
ERA
any
of like 7 point something in the postseason. What was that?
Who's your team again, Charlie? Are the A's? Did the A's make it?
I don't care. They're
Did
still
the
my
A's make
team.
the playoffs?
No, they did not. But I still rep them. That's all right.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's been fun though. They have been exciting games, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel that by the 4th inning, like who has that game, whose posture and poise is positioned to take home the win that night.
Even Arrieta. Arrieta won the Cy Young last year, and he's been very shaky for the Cubs this year. He was 18-8, which is a great record, but he was shaky, and he had a no-hitter going into the 5th, and he still was doing great. But if you look at his line score, it was not terrific by any means. It was the Cubs offense. The one person that I think it was very, very smart for them to bring in was Kyle Schwarber.
Isn't he injured still though?
They just released today. So if you guys don't know, Kyle Schwarber has been injured for the whole entire season, and they brought him on as the DH for the AL games, and he did, I think, 4 RBIs or 2 RBIs in Game 2 and led them to victory. But he's not going to be playing in the outfield
tomorrow
because he has not been cleared for his injury. But he's definitely the MVP of Game 2, in my opinion. It's been. I think it's going to come down to pitching, and my wife is going to hate it because I'm going to watch every single game, and she hates pitching duels. But it's definitely going to come down to that. One of my favorite players on the Indians is Andrew Miller. Andrew Miller had the bases loaded in Game 1, I believe, and he got out of it with no outs. He's literally had 0 people scoring on him. He's been incredible. That is going to be their MVP if they win the World Series, in my opinion.
Now, let me ask you this. I know how I personally feel about it, but I want to know how you guys feel about this. I like the fact that the All-Star game determines who gets home field, but considering, because I think it makes it more exciting, because and listen, like for NFL, for Pro Bowl, which happens after the season is over, where nothing matters and no one cares anymore except some groupies want to go to Hawaii. No shade at the groupies. I want to go to Hawaii too. And then NBA All-Star Game, which is an offensive like juggernaut of like throwing up
But that's
three-pointers.
fun.
And
That's fun.
It is fun, but the point is that those All-Star games have no weight, have no meaning for the rest of the season, whereas the MLB,
Yep.
it determines who gets home field advantage. So I feel that in this particular year, more so than any other year that I've watched baseball as closely, that the Cubs got robbed. Like, how do you have that phenomenal of a record and then have to
home field
go
advantage.
and then lose your home field advantage because of an All-Star game?
Yeah, I mean, but I do. The reason why I was rolling my eyes was because no other sport does it.
No other sport, yeah.
I wish that the NFL did it in the middle of the season. I wish that the NBA did the same thing. In my opinion, it would be way more entertaining, in my opinion, to just have a random team win from the All-Star game and then they have home court advantage. I think that, to your point, yeah, the Cubs are on fire, but they could not because they're playing in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Why did the MLB do that though?
They've been good doing that for quite a bit of
Yeah,
time.
as long as I
I
can
think
remember.
I think since the early '80s they've been doing it. It's just something that they decided. They say, hey, we just want this to determine who has home court advantage. In my opinion.
But I think this year it sucks, though. I think it probably sucks every year, but because there's so much at stake for both the Cleveland fans and the organization and the city of Cleveland and their droughts, and then so much at stake with the Billy Goat curse, and the 2000. What's the guy's name? This Bartman.
So
Yeah.
what I think is I think that the Cubs should bring on every single curse that they've had and have them in the stadium. They should have a goat. They should invite Bartman to throw out throw out the first pitch.
That's interesting.
I think that they should just. I feel like
Embrace it.
Yeah, embrace it, and
Embrace
then
it.
yeah.
Do you think that they really think about the players? Really
No,
think about that?
the players are too young. The players that are going to win the World Series this year, whoever they are both young on that. But the head office, the general managers, it's in their mind.
But I'm sure they've heard like stories and stuff, and like they heard about the curse
Yeah.
and everything. Do you think that
Well, no,
'Cause
I mean,
some players can be superstitious.
Like I said, the players are too young to even affect them. They've barely been playing 2 years in the league, so they don't care. They just want to win.
Right.
I don't think they think about it, in my opinion. There are two things that I thought was interesting. I don't really care for Joe Buck.
Okay.
No one does.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
So I don't know what it is. I think that he is biased towards certain teams or certain players, and I don't like that. As a announcer or as a host, you have to be bipartial to whatever.
Each team.
Each
See, I
team.
think it depends on
No,
the.
Erica's not.
Well, see, I think it depends on the arena in which you're working.
Very partial.
Well, I think it depends though. Like
Yeah.
for example, like one of my schoolmates, David Pollock, who does college football, he obviously played at Georgia, was an All-Star, All-American, will never pick Georgia, and we fight about it on Facebook. People who went to UJ around that time, because we get so pissed off at him for never picking Georgia, and then the football players who were at school with us will say, well, he doesn't want to be a homer. But then I think there's certain atmospheres and environments in which you can be a homer and still give educated, intelligent opinions without sounding like you only are there for your team.
Yeah, like in the game one, I'll give you for instance. So the Cleveland Indians, they were up 3-0, and you knew that they were going to win that game. And then somebody hit a 3-1 homer, and he was like, "It's 6-0," and I'm like, "Just calm."
He did, yeah.
Just calm
Yeah, he
down.
He was excited,
Yeah,
man.
I don't care if you're excited. Like you can be excited, but then like.
How do you call a 3-run homer?
That's a 3-1 homer, oh my
Impartially.
goodness. And
Impartially.
that's it. But he literally goes on and on and on and on and on, and then you get annoyed, and you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm watching Dumb and Dumber, when they're in the car, and they're like, that sounds like Joe Buck to me every single.
Really?
So people have signed a petition that they don't want him to do the World Series, and I think he does some of what else?
Football.
Football as
Yeah.
well. They don't want him to do that anymore. What do you guys think?
I know a lot of people don't like him. I never understood why, though. I didn't pay that much attention to Joe Buck when he's announcing to really care either way.
Yeah, I mean, I have to let me listen to him game 3, and then I'll come.
I
I'll get back to
literally
you.
have to mute it. Like
Really?
I'm watching. Yeah, I watch the World Series and I mute it and I put on music and then I watch the game.
I think the other person that told me that same thing is a diehard fan of that particular sport. I think it was football. So I think diehard fans of a sport can tell.
Can tell, yeah. That's
Maybe.
yeah, you can, because
Yeah.
you're right, you can.
Yeah, I just don't care for him. They need to move on to somebody else. There's so many young talents out there that could potentially call a game.
Like yourself.
There you go.
Make a pitch. Make
There you go.
What about this bet between LeBron and D-Wade?
Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah.
No.
I thought that was hilarious. So they don't play each other. I don't think until
December.
like December. But whoever wins the World Series has to wear the other person's jersey. So if LeBron James loses the bet, he has to wear Chicago Cubs gear.
No, I think was it the full uniform, like
the
the pants
full
too?
uniform to the cleats.
Really? I thought LeBron was a New York Yankees fan.
He was growing up, but now
He's in
What is-
Cleveland.
But now you gotta rep your state.
Those fair weather fans.
Gotta rep it.
I like it. I mean, I think that's
that's
cute.
gonna be funny.
I mean, they're basically dating each other anyway, so
Yeah.
that's whatever.
It's so true.
I mean, hey.
I think we're gonna have a couple more games before next Thursday, so we'll see. It'll probably be around Game 7, so we'll see who wins the World Series.
Not Cleveland in 6.
Not even close. I'm gonna say Chicago in 5.
Ooh, I say Cleveland.
What?
I say Cleveland in 7. I'm flip flopping too because I changed my.
What's it? So
Yeah, I don't
you
think Chicago
really,
can win this one.
really?
I don't think so
Right.
either.
Because
Cleveland
history,
too.
you have to go with history and the stats. The historical stats.
Okay,
Not this year's
I was
stats.
like, watch yourself.
History, baby. History's on the side of Cleveland.
Are
not
you with me,
Chicago.
Raina?
I'm sorry, I'm with Cleveland.
All right.
Yeah.
The coast,
Well,
the
to-
curse will continue.
I think this happened with NBA. I was the lone
yeah.
star with
Yeah,
that.
you
You're right. That's right.
So
You're right. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
They have no
Okay.
Steph Curry on, or LeBron on either team. So
I would ask you guys how your fantasy football teams are doing, but I already know we talked about it before. I know everyone's
6-1.
team suck. They all suck.
6-1. No, mine is good.
I should do weekly fantasy.
Yeah, I should.
sucks.
Mine sucks too. I think I'm barely. I think I'm 500 anyway.
If only there was a way I could do weekly fantasy sport.
I know.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? Well, let's talk about perhaps something that would allow you to do weekly fantasy sports.
Does it exist?
It does. It's called DraftKings.com.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Such a fool.
it's awesome. So if
Tell
you
me
have,
more.
if you have a fantasy team that sucks like yours, Josh, DraftKings.com is
does.
just for you. Mine sucks too. Whatever. Aaron Rodgers is my starting quarterback. So you would think that
Andy Dalton.
I would have learned my lesson. You should learn your lesson too. So
seriously draft him?
if you have an awful quarterback like me or Andy Dalton like Josh, then this is for you because you don't have to commit to one team for the entire season. You can literally change your team every single week. And the great thing about DraftKings.com is that you have an opportunity to be a winner even after you've been a loser. Again, like me and like Josh. So all you have to do, guys, is go to DraftKings.com. You pick your contest, you draft your team, and you just follow the action live every single week. And how do you do it? Josh wants to know. Charlie wants to know. Raina needs to know. You guys want to know. How do you do? You go to DraftKings.com, and you use the code BSports as in Bootylicious. As in Bootylicious. And you can play for free, guys. Your fantasy team is bootylicious. B Sports, guys. B Sports is the code, okay? DraftKings.com. Use the promo code B Sports, and you can play for free if this is your very first time using your deposit. And yeah, there are $1 million in total prizes every week, and
You can win money?
you can win money, and then you can send some of that money to us. Not really. We always say that.
Every week.
We do. And no one ever sends us any money.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins. Okay, so DraftKings.com, use the promo code BSports, and good luck at winning some money. Raina,
Andy Dalton, really?
Yeah, Andy Dalton, AJ Green, they went off last week.
All right.
I got a lot of points. I won last week.
Raina, I got you back in here for Westbrook. I don't know if you want to talk about him anymore. I don't know.
I mean, we can.
Talk about Westbrook.
Or should we do the? We can talk about Red.
Well,
Right, we can go into all of it.
yeah, let's come on, Raina and Josh. Y'all can tag team.
that
back
catfish looking man.
In the record, let's begin.
Party on, party people, let me make some noise. These scenes in the house, jump, jump, rejoice. There's a party over here.
A party over there.
Wave your hands in the air, shake your derriere. These 3 words mean you're getting busy. Whoop, there it is. Hit me.
There it is.
Whoop,
There it is.
Oh my gosh, we're on one today. I swear.
There he
Nice.
is.
So yeah, speaking, I don't even know how to come on to that one.
Product of
Speaking of
Lawndale
ter-
High School, right here in the South Bay.
Lozinger.
Lusinger. Lusinger is in Lawndale. Same difference.
There's that catfish. He looks like a catfish to me.
You said that before.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a catfish.
Yeah, I've always said this, and I can say this is my favorite aunt that I was named after, but my aunt looks just like Russell Westbrook.
Oh my god.
Can I meet your aunt? Can I call her a catfish?
You cannot call it catfish. Well, I'll tell you why.
No, but
Off air.
did you all one of those like church ladies who have like little hair on their chin?
No, this particular, I do
Like
have
little
aunts
peach
who have
fuzz.
that, but this one does not. But y'all, I have an aunt who looks just like. I'll show you a
Really?
picture.
Always wanted to kiss
I
you,
really
little kid.
I'll see a picture. Okay.
Oh, Russ's revenge, as the Sports Center puts it sometimes. So yeah, last night against the Sixers, Russ almost had a triple-double.
32 points, 12
30,
rebounds.
yep, and 9 assists. It was an ugly game, but the Thunder won 103 to 97.
Playing Philly.
I know.
Yeah.
It's cursed in there. So Russ, do you guys feel like he can be a potential
Yes.
MVP candidate?
Yes.
Really?
But do I want
Yes.
him to? No.
I want him to be.
No. He's
Really? Are they going to win enough games for that?
The Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I think
I think they're better without KD.
and I think the Warriors were better without KD as well.
Yep.
Everyone's better without KD. KD, just retire. It's over for you.
They were going at KD after the game. There's memes about him coming to the Spurs after the
Oh,
loss.
shit.
Oh, that's
So
cold.
bad.
That's
Leave him
cold.
alone.
I think the pressure is not even on Russ. I think it's on KD because Russ is the one who has been there. He stayed. He committed to the organization for how many more years? Two more years.
2 more years. 2 more years, yeah.
And
Yep.
so the pressure is on KD. If Russ doesn't win, I mean, he can
Win
always
what,
say
MVP or win a championship?
a championship.
Oh, he's not gonna win a
Of course, but he's not gonna he won't use an excuse, but he can always say, "Hey, I'm the only one." If KD doesn't win, he has no excuse.
No
He's on a
excuse.
super team. So Russ has no pressure. He can do what he does, and I think he's gonna go out there and average 28, 8, and 8.
So
Okay.
I agree. I think he is a potential MVP candidate. He is clearly one of the best point guards in the game right now. But I want to focus on his. Have you guys seen his commercial that came out recently?
Which one?
The one that he's like all the kids are dancing and
Yeah,
to the
they-
Lil
yeah.
Uzi song. I think. Oh gosh.
I saw it just
I think
today.
it was they're repeating like I can do what I want. I have to get the right words, but anyways, Russ is just having fun and he's dancing like he does his pregame dance with Payne, one of the guards,
Cameron.
and Cameron Payne, yes. So I feel like for this year, Russ is going to do just that, do what he wants. It's his team. He is going to have fun with it, and I think that's the best part of playing basketball. Once you have fun with it, you have the confidence, which he clearly already has.
Clearly.
That's just right there. I think that his skill set obviously can put him in the MVP candidate.
I think he can definitely be more of himself now that KD is gone. I mean,
Yep.
and I know we talk about him, we pick at him a lot. I mean, obviously KD's one of the best in the game,
Yeah,
the top of his game in his prime. So
You do agree with that?
yeah. I mean, I just like to give people a hard time. I mean, obviously, I respect his game, and I don't respect that he went to the Warriors, but I respect him as a player, as a talent. But I think that Russell Westbrook can now be his true self on and off the court, because I feel like we have somebody like KD who's also a superstar, but who's he seems a little bit more introverted. He seems a little bit more passive than Westbrook. I feel that someone that has Westbrook's personality and tenacity has to kind of like rein it in some, not to step on the toes of the other superstar who's supposed to be the main superstar. If you step on his toes, then you're stepping on front office toes. And now Russ is the man, and he has carte blanche to be the man and doesn't have to answer to passive KD, who's going to be like this,
Well, when it's all on Russ, though, it's all going to be on Russ this season. Where does the Thunder fall in the rankings for the Western Conference?
5 seed.
5 seed?
5 seed.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the 5 or the 4.
Because it'll be Spurs.
No, it'll be Golden
It'll be
State.
the
Let's
Warriors.
keep it real.
Y'all
It'll be
keep drinking that Golden State juice.
But you have to be realistic.
I'm being realistic.
It's going to be Golden State. Then the
it's-
Spurs.
yes, then the Spurs.
Like the Spurs, like the Warriors
Then
realistically lost that 3-1
yeah.
lead.
That was-
Okay.
Okay, that happened, but that did happen.
Okay.
But then maybe the Clippers.
Spurs, Golden State, Clippers. Yeah. Rockets.
If
Rockets, Dallas,
James
Thunder.
is playing
somewhere
the
in
way
there.
that James has
Ooh, James
played
Harden?
last night,
Oh, James Harden.
the
went off.
Rockets have a great chance because he wasn't doing all that like just extra going like drawing the fouls and everything. He was so composed. He was
17
passing the
assists
ball.
was- yeah.
That was just
was
that's the
crazy.
James Harden that Houston needs.
Yeah.
So if
He's
he
playing point
continues
guard
to
now.
play, if he continues to play that way, I would put them at the 4th seed.
Fourth
Okay,
seed.
so okay, that's fine.
you got Oklahoma.
So Clippers, Rockets, Thunder. Those are
fourth,
interchangeable.
fifth. They'll definitely make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
But like, do you guys have any thoughts on how he's handling the media with them bombarding him with questions
I like
about KD, and he's just like brushing it off? And
Now I do what I want. That's the name of the song.
now I do know. Okay, anyways.
I like it. I think he's taking the Marshawn Lynch
So
approach.
what happened? The media asked him if he watched any of the games last night when the Warriors got their butts whooped by the Spurs, and he
yeah.
says like nothing. I watched a movie. I played cards.
I used Dove soap.
He took a
Used Dove-
shower, washed his face.
He was just not commenting on it. And I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he should just, give the Warriors their props and move on? And should he continue acting this way?
I think he
just-
should keep acting that way.
What else do you expect him to do? I think he has a job to do. He has a team that's his now. He's going to go out and play his game. He's not worried about any other man.
I think you should have said that though. Like instead of like I had Dove soap, you know, I watched movies.
Well, you know
I talked to my I know, but I'm saying like that's I know what he's doing.
I don't care at all. Like,
but I'm saying like, you know, it was a
playing
great
the game.
game.
Yeah, he's playing the game.
I don't know. What do you think, Charlie?
I guess I'm the lone wolf on this. I do like him. I think he's an incredible player. I don't like the way that he's acting. I personally don't. I mean,
no, I'm with you on
you
that
don't want
one.
to be like Peyton Manning.
No.
So diplomatic.
I think that he can take his jabs, but then there's a point where you need to be professional and then stick to your game. That's it. You can take your jabs. He already did that when he said, that's cute. That's it. That's all you need to say. And then move on. Beat them on the court. That's all I got to say.
And then if the media continues to ask him, he'll be like, you know, it was a very good game. You know, the Spurs did their thing, Warriors did their thing. Move on. Just like don't, I don't know. When he was just like, I used Dove soap and all that. I'm like, come on, dude.
But he did directly answer the questions they asked him. He said, did you watch the game? He said, no. You know, I did this, and this. It's not like he's avoiding. He's just telling the truth. I didn't watch it.
He's
So, like,
he's
he's
adding.
little
He's adding to it.
extra to it, yeah.
He's
He
adding to it.
is, but I mean, again, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And that's consistent with Russ Brooks,
personality.
with Westbrook's personality.
Well, outside of that, I mean, he's had trouble with fans. Like, I understand that the fan flipped him off this.
And that
last
was
game.
not. Don't even try to say that was Russell Westbrook's fault.
I'm not saying that. But in the past, he's had issues with fans. He got fined specifically for that reason last year. I'm just saying. I'm just stating facts.
Well, I'm just saying, as far as last night was concerned, that fan needed to have his butt kicked.
Definitely.
But what is the? I
What?
personally think that the middle finger is overrated.
But did you,
No,
but
did you watch the
did you see the
video?
footage though?
This means nothing. But if I move over one, then
But
what?
did you see the
No.
footage? Did you see how aggressive that guy was?
He
Because
was-
please believe, if you're passing Russell Westbrook in the corner in a dark alley at night, you're not going to be doing all that.
No.
He scored. Did you watch the video?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I would say if I was Russell Westbrook, I would say, okay, I want him to stay. I would be taunting
This
that
is
fan every single time that I score.
Well, the fan, like Erica's point, the fan knew he could do it because the Tiger was safely
This
in
is
the
his
cage.
response to
Of
the
course,
fan.
it's his. Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Look at
I
him.
had to
He's
say
like-
that. Who mans is this?
Yeah.
What about Josh? Do you want to do your sleepers or what are we talking about? There's so much to
Well,
talk
we're talking
about. I mean,
Russell
come on.
Westbrook MVP. Let's talk about the Warriors then. Where do we see them this year?
No,
Clearly,
okay.
they're gonna end up number 1 seed in the West. I don't know. Charlie.
They are not going to
Thank
be
you,
number
Charlie.
one.
One
Thank you,
game,
Charlie.
No,
and it's like
wait
the
a
Spurs.
second.
The
No,
Spurs are a good team.
No.
But once the chemistry starts clicking, which it won't take very long, the Warriors will go back to the finals.
I'm not trying to base their whole season on one game. I've been saying that they weren't going to make it to the finals since KD went to the team. This
Thank you.
This has nothing to do with the first game. The first game ass whipping just supports my theory that I've been saying all summer.
And who's going to displace them? You're saying the Spurs.
Yes.
Charlie, you agree.
The Spurs or the
Yes.
Clippers?
No, not the Clippers.
You-
No,
You
honey.
had me until the Clippers.
And I just want to make this comment. So, and I also liken things back to college football. So in college football, you cheer for different
You
teams.
had me.
Yeah, of course. I know. I'm sorry. I had to deviate. You cheer for your one team, but you don't cheer for two teams in the same conference, same division. I don't know how the hell Raina cheers as passionately for the Lakers and the Warriors. That doesn't make any sense to me. You can have an NFC team, an AFC team. You can have an NL team, an AL team. You can have a Western Conference team and an Eastern. How the hell do you have the two teams on the same
But
coast
when they
and the
go
same
against
state?
each other, I cheer for the
Look,
Lakers.
that's all
I
I
went
gotta
to
say.
school
Josh, you
in
understand that?
San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Right
That makes no sports logic. Die-hard sports fans know that doesn't add up. But go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Raina. I don't know either. Look,
Go ahead.
But we're here on
Y'all
the Lakers.
really don't know why?
That it doesn't add
On the
up.
Lakers, though, we're here. Like, we're here.
Josh is like, I can't dab you up with that one.
But I do give my props though to the Warriors that I think they're going to be number 1 seed yet again. They're going to go back to the finals.
Nope.
If you don't think, I think it's just up to just getting some chemistry together, and that's about it. Because they're the most powerful offensive team possibly of all time.
And what's going to be their Achilles heel, I'm stripping again, is the defense, and when their lack of defense and clutch, and when their shooting hands get cold. That's all.
But you're not going to have 4 or 5 shooting hands get cold.
Listen.
They're going to be caught up in hero ball. That's all I can say.
Ooh.
No. No. Well, what do you mean by that?
You talked about that last week too. Yeah.
So they're going to be caught up in hairball. There's going to be so many players
Like
wanting
one
to.
person's going to step up and
Yeah.
have to
and then
close the game out.
Don't get me started. Draymond Green is going to want to have the ball, and then KD's going to. Yeah, like I said.
I don't know. I think that we have all decided to subscribe to this ideal that the Warriors, because they are a super talented team on paper, that Lakers team, and this is no shade of the Lakers, but that Lakers team with Nash and Kobe and I think it was Gasol still there, like that was a great team on paper.
It was too late though. It was too late for that.
But on paper, we were like, oh, this Lakers team like had all like the best talent, and then they fizzled game by game. And I know this is a stretch to try to compare because these guys on the Warriors are so super young.
Yeah, they're young.
But I think oftentimes on paper, I can sell you a fantasy on paper all day long. But I think there might be a breakdown in chemistry. I don't know if Steve Kerr can out-coach and outsmart Popovich. So I think it's easy. I think the low-hanging fruit is to be like, oh, the Warriors are a super team. Let's do that. But I think that it'll be much more complicated and convoluted as the season progresses, barring injuries and lack of chemistry and a rough start and not being able to decide who takes the last shot and lack of defense.
That'll all be worked out pretty quickly. Injuries, one person gets injured, you still have 3 or 4 more guys who can pick it up. Chemistry is going to be worked out quickly. They've proven themselves already. You add one more person, I don't think you're going to drop in 5 seeds just because you add Kevin
I didn't
Durant.
say they're going to drop 5. I think they're going to still obviously be a 2 or definitely no lower than 3 seed. I don't think they're going to the finals.
All right, how about Knicks and Bulls made some trades this year?
The Knicks don't excite me.
I-
Sorry, Josh
Nick
Rod.
Love? No Nick Love with the.
I don't like either of them. I mean, they're trying to do what the Warriors are currently trying to do, and it's just not.
It's too
Yeah.
late. It's like
It's way
like,
too late.
yeah,
You're
it's
like,
this team with Nash and
yeah,
Kobe.
exactly. All these old players. What are they gonna do? Nothing.
I do have a heart for the Bulls, though. I think as being like an 80s baby and like watching those Bulls championships, like in the 90s, it's
Kind of weird to see Rondo in a Bulls
and
jersey.
and D Wade. Oh, are they playing right
Yeah,
now?
they're-
Oh, we're missing all the games.
How would D Wade do this year though?
Average.
He's at home.
Average.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Eric on that. He went back because this is his hometown. That's
He's
about
chilling.
And I think he's towards the end of his career too, so
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just
of
going to
course.
contribute what he is used to contributing. But as far as dominating, I don't see
No.
Are Knicks making the playoffs?
it.
No, unless they have a 9 seed this year.
it. I see him as an 8 seed.
Are Lakers making the playoffs?
No,
Oof.
I want them to, but no.
But they, based on one game.
But can we talk about that game last night though?
Exciting team.
Lakers.
We have an exciting team
We
this year.
we were talking about
Young,
this
yeah.
before this. Kobe held them back, and you could see
He
it
did.
in
I
game
admit
1.
that. I admit that now.
Yeah.
Right.
Kobe did hold them back. Now we have a young team who's been ready to go. D'Angelo Russell is stepping up
Oh
into
my
that role. I
gosh.
think he wants to be the man.
I love D'Angelo Russell's confidence, and I think that like he just stepped up. He's improved so much. I was kind of interested to see Nick Young in that starting position over Clarkson.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it worked.
But it worked.
But it
Last
did
night.
work.
Last night
25 off the bench. That
Another
worked.
thing that was interesting in that game, did you notice how many threes the Lakers attempted?
I don't know what was the stat line.
35 threes. Do you think that had something to do with Luke coming into the coaching staff?
That's
Coming off of the,
Yeah,
coming off of the Warriors?
Yeah.
Because I noticed that they're shooting way more threes than usual, so I'm thinking that maybe Luke
Yeah.
is kind of trying to transition that into it because they're pulling up for threes now.
Yeah.
Not only like just moving the
Dribbling,
ball,
pulling on, yeah.
but they're literally stopping at the 3-point line on fast breaks sometimes and pulling up for the three.
Yeah, I think that will be short-lived because
They're
because
not a 3-point team.
they're not a 3-point team, and you live and die by the 3. Even if you are a 3-point team, you die by the 3.
It's not going to be up to like the Warrior standards by any means.
God,
right?
no, yeah.
I think three-point
No, but I
shooting
think
will
he's
improve
definitely
for them this
yeah.
year.
I think he's trying to maybe have a few. I don't know. I think Luke is throwing that in there.
Maybe he's
just
trying to feel it out
They're
while
in
it's still early.
they're in a step in the right direction. Will they make the playoffs this year? Probably not, but they're going step by step by
Let's
step.
see.
Yeah, let's see.
I mean, it'll be
Let's
Spurs, Golden State, Clippers, Rockets, Thunder,
Don't forget the Mavericks.
Mavericks, Memphis, Mavs, and then what
You
about
got Sac.
No.
Wait, Milwaukee.
No,
Are they West or East?
That's East.
Milwaukee's.
East.
I just think it's funny
Yeah.
that
Sac
the
is a
Lakers are
sleeper.
progressing, in my
Oh,
opinion.
Portland.
Yeah.
Oh my
how can we
God,
forget about Portland?
yeah.
Sorry.
So no, the
That was
Lakers
my
won't.
sleeper
The
team.
Lakers won't make it. No.
It'll be a battle.
What I'm saying is that I think the Lakers are progressing
that,
better
Josh.
than the Timberwolves, which is crazy because I feel like the Timberwolves have more talent,
More talent.
On their team.
That's a sleeper too. Clippers are making out in the second round.
God, yes. God, yeah.
Yes.
Think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Depending on who they play.
And if they
Russ
don't,
has something to do with
and
it.
if they don't, this team has to get blown up, and Doc Rivers has to get fired.
Okay, we gotta make a wager though at some point. Not
Okay.
today on the Warriors
Clippers?
making number one.
Okay.
And if the Clippers go
make
out.
it on the second
Okay.
round.
Right.
Who's winning all this year? It's I know it's
Cleveland.
early, but Cleveland.
Spurs or Cleveland?
Cleveland gonna repeat? Spurs, Cleveland.
Warriors.
Oh God, give me a break, girl. I'm gonna say Boston Celtics.
Dang.
Boy, Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're my sleeper. You'll see. Don't worry.
Gonna have to be a lot of
That-
injuries if Austin Celtics is gonna.
Well, in that case, then the Bulls are my sleeper.
Oh God.
Exactly. That's how I feel about the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm with Warriors too. Let's move on.
Just really quick, guys. We probably won't talk about this long, but Josh Brown, the
Yeah,
kicker
totally.
from the New York Giants, was finally released from the Giants. Duh, obviously. He has a history of abusing his wife physically, emotionally, and mentally. He journaled about it. They have a timeline on NewYorkDailyTimes.com that shows how he got arrested in May of 2015, and then even once the NFL found out that he'd been abusing his wife, they gave him 1 game suspension, and then he got reinstated. And then once they found out more, then they still kind of set on it, and then finally, about 2 weeks ago, this past week after the London game, they released him. But what's interesting is that even when they were thinking about releasing him and then suspended him, they picked up the kicker, then cut the kicker, and then picked Josh Brown back up, even though they knew these domestic abuse incidents had occurred. So they suspended him, hired a new kicker, fired the kicker. Josh got back on the team, even though they knew this was going on. So there's just so much to talk about in such a short time. I don't know, just go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were kids, was this something that was publicized in the media? Was this something that happened? Like, I know it happened, but was it something that we saw in the media? Like, this was a headlining thing.
OJ. I remember OJ.
Yeah.
Was, the
But OJ
domestic abuse incident.
Yeah, I'm not downgrading domestic abuse, but he committed a murder.
I mean, not the murder. I'm talking about before that. Those allegations was OJ was known for
Okay.
abuse.
I feel like it's more publicized now, and that's a good thing. But
Our news cycle is 24/7 now.
True.
When we were growing up, the television's turned off like at 12 o'clock, right? Maybe Raina, probably not with you because you're so much younger. But when we were growing up, me and Josh anyway,
color bars.
the television would like turn off at midnight. Remember that? Yeah. so I think it's a different day and time. I guess my one question that I want to sneak in is, how do you guys feel about how the NFL handles Josh Brown and the Ray Rices and the Greg Hardys compared to how other corporate or Fortune 500 companies would handle theirs? Because,
Excellent question.
like, what if I'm the COO of a tech company or the CEO of, another kind of company, or if I'm the superintendent in my small home local, municipality, or if I'm a pastor at a church and it's found out that I've been abusing my wife? Do I lose my career forever? Do I get fired forever? And
I think it depends on the role. To be completely honest, if they're the CFO or the CEO or to handle whatever, and they're some high executive in the company, then they're going to sweep it under the rug. But if you're an entry level, probably.
See, I don't.
I think it's the other way around.
Really?
But yeah, and I used to always be the guy who was like, why can an NFL player lose their job over this? But maybe someone who works as an office janitor, he's not going to lose a job.
Or a police officer, or a teacher.
Really?
And I was like, is that really fair? Why are these guys losing their ability to make a living for something that didn't happen at the company or in the in their workplace, but really off the field?
And we're not condoning, guys. Who's ever watching? We're not condoning.
I have to disagree.
I was always that guy saying it's not really fair. But then I was thinking, but these guys though, they have a much higher profile than regular employees in the Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 company, and they're out there, and there's more at stake in the fact that their employer will lose dollars. Once again, it always comes down to money, but will lose dollars
It's not fair, though. I
if
don't
it's
think
out there that these guys are.
Rainy, you want to jump in real fast before we wrap?
I would have to agree with Charlie on this one because. I think that they would sweep it under the rug if it was the CEO.
I think the higher their profile, the more dollars it affects, they're not going to sweep it under the rug. They're going to get rid of that person. A CEO is the face of the company. So they're going to be like, okay, we got to separate ourselves from you because you're going to cost us dollars.
So if the CEO of, let's say, a Google or an Amazon was beating his wife and we found out, it went public, would he get fired? Would he lose his position?
Yes.
He probably resign.
He would resign.
He would resign. He would have the option to resign. That's what I'm saying.
But if it was somebody lower,
they would just be like, you're gone.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
So this was not domestic abuse, and I know we're running out of time. But the thing with the gentleman that worked at Taco Bell that beat up the Uber driver.
Oh, yeah.
And that was publicized, and they fired him like the next day
did.
because that was publicized.
Because it was
but,
public,
But if
yeah.
it wasn't publicized, he probably wouldn't have got fired because he was high up in the Taco Bell corporate office.
Well, maybe we'll finish this conversation next week because I also want to talk about if Josh Brown got preferential treatment because he was a white, and B, because he's a kicker. And kickers aren't particularly intimidating figures.
Did you see the statement that he said about his wife? I know we're running out of time, but I have to say this.
What?
He said that he felt like he was a god and his wife was a slave. I thought it was disgraceful.
Terrible.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I want to see that picture again. Put that back up.
The Josh Brown
he looked
picture.
Like he might look crazy in his eye.
Yeah, he's a kicker. Of course he's crazy. Guys, every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we're your favorite sports squad. If you didn't know, now you know, people. I'm Erica Renee Davis. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Insta Story at Erica Renee D.
Hey guys, this is Charlie Myers. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Charlie L. Myers.
Guys, you can find me all over social media at JJ the Talented. Make sure you tell me and tell us who your picks are for NBA championships, the finals, and also Rookie of the Year predictions, all that good stuff. Keep the conversation going.
And I'm Raina LA. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Raina_LA.
And as always, you can follow all things Black Hollywood Live on blackhollywoodlive.com. You can follow Black Hollywood Live on Twitter at BHL Online. You can follow us on Instagram, Charlie, at The Sports Weekly. And until next Thursday night at 7, go Clippers.
Have a good Halloween, everyone.
Go Lakers Warriors.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
One.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.